Brijon, along with the King of LA Sports, Richard Lopez. And today we are going to be talking football because the season has finally started.
The Lord has heard all my prayers. I don't even need you to ask me how I'm doing because I'm already great.
Okay. Well,
football was just, it's back. Do I get applause?
Oh, of course.
Okay, hold on. We got to give football its respects.
Yes,
and give it its respects. I've been waiting a long time.
Well, at least for me, it's been kind of boring, since the NBA ended and the time off. I know you're a Major League Baseball fan. Well,
the Dodgers got put on hold. I let everyone know I plan on talking about the Dodgers and baseball, but football deserves all of my attention today, and I promise football will get all of my attention today. I'm so excited.
All right, well, let's kick it off because the season officially started Thursday when the Broncos faced the Ravens, Baltimore Ravens, defending Super Bowl champions. Down goes Frazier, baby.
Hey, I feel sorry for the Ravens, kind of.
I don't. But go ahead.
I do. I feel sorry for them. They ran into someone that wanted revenge real bad. So the whole time they have that whole ceremony in the beginning about celebrating the Ravens, the Ray Lewis monologue, and the shadow of Ray Lewis dancing, and Peyton Manning gave him that work.
And what's up with Joe Flacco being on the being on the building? I'm like, really? Seriously?
If that's not bulletin board material, I don't know what is.
Right.
So what did Peyton do?
7 touchdown passes. Only seven.
Only seven.
Which puts him in the history books yet again. 27-42, over 400 yards passing. 2 touchdowns apiece to Welker, Demaryius Thomas, and Julius Thomas. Threw one to Andre Caldwell. I mean, dude could do no wrong.
No wrong. And then my surprise, we already knew about Demaryius Thomas, but Julius Thomas, I know they're not brothers, but I'm going to call them the Thomas brothers. The Thomas brothers the Broncos look very dangerous. And on top of those 2 weapons, they have Wes Welker.
Yes, he did that. He did a slight little blurt with the botched return kick, but after that, he slid right on into that offense like he's been there for years. I mean, but to be able to go from a Tom Brady to now a Peyton Manning, oh my God, the stories he's going to be able to tell his grandchildren.
That's spoiled. That's a spoiled guy right there. But you know what? I mean, I would do the same if I were him. I wouldn't go from Tom Brady to Carson Palmer.
Right. Well, I know the Dolphins are kicking themselves in the anus for letting him go, right?
Oh, yes, they are.
Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on to some Sunday games. Let's go. Can we start with my team, please?
Oh, yeah. Before we go with the Niners, let's talk about how the Niners ended up last season. What happened at the end of the season?
You know what? Why are you living in the past?
A
ship that sails backwards will never see the sunset. We're moving to the future now.
I like that.
Let's go.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So we will open it up with the quote by Colin Kaepernick. If intimidation was their game plan, I hope they have a better one.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah, that was
loved it.
I love that quote too because these guys are pro athletes. Like chances are you're not going to intimidate them.
They tried to bully the Niners. They tried to bully Colin Kaepernick. I love Clay Matthews because he's a SC boy, but some of those shots he put on Clay, that he put on Colin were just cheap shots.
Oh yeah.
Regardless of what he says.
But I like how the lineman Staley stuck up for Kaepernick and got that penalty.
Yes.
Granted, the referees got the actual
play call.
Blew the call wrong.
Yeah.
To me, the Niners still look like they dominated the game.
Yes.
And what impressed me the most is the Green Bay Packers were preparing all off season for that speed option, and they probably ran it 3-4 times at the most.
Right. So, hello, Colin has an arm.
Oh, yes, he does.
Didn't know, now you do. He was 27 for 39, threw for 412 yards. Wait a minute. Crab who? We have Anquan Bolton, baby. I'm sorry. Yeah. I love Crabtree, and speedy recovery because once he gets on the field along with Anquan Bolton, oh my God, we're going to be a force to be reckoned with. I mean, we already are, but it's going to be even more of a force to be reckoned with. But Anquan, 208 yards on 13 catches.
Beast.
That was
a brother to brother present. Like, I'm sorry I beat you in the Super Bowl, brother. Here you go.
Here's
Take
Anquan.
this. Here's maybe you can win one with him.
The Ravens have to be kicking themselves in the butts also for that because you didn't want to pay the man. What does the yes say to pay the man? I mean, give him his money. Give him his money. You gave up one of the most prolific receivers in the NFL because you did not want to pay him. But you know what? I can't say that I'm mad. Sucks to be you. Yay us, you know?
Hey.
So, hey.
And he's going to do wonders for those young receivers over there, too.
Yeah, he's going to be an excellent role on his toughness just on the field. I mean, I fell in love with Anquan when he played for the Cardinals, when he took that hit off the Kurt Warner pass.
Oh,
he
yeah.
broke his jaw and he came back and he played that season.
He's a warrior.
Mad respect.
He's a warrior. And before we get off the Niners, let's talk about their safety.
Let's go.
Reed, are you impressed? To me, when I seen him make hits, it was like, Golston who?
You know, I am, but all he did to me, and not in a negative way, he just added to the toughness that was already there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our defense is
on
point. We have the Smith boys, you know, or the Smith brothers, you know, even though no relation.
Hey.
But so all he did was he just helped the Niners elevate their defensive game more. So kudos to all the pickups. Even Asamoah tried to do a little something.
No, and he was. So, he did do his thing. And, you know, the Niners are a force to be reckoned with. I'm just going to go out there and say it. My Super Bowl call is the teams we just talked about, Niners and Broncos.
Yeah, I can see.
That's my call right now for the Super Bowl. Do you want to go ahead and throw one out there right now?
That was ours. So we had this discussion in post, you know, in pre-production. So, yeah, we both said Niners and Broncos. So
you hear that? The takeover crew, Niners and Broncos. That's our call. So
now, we have to let everybody know Aaron Rodgers did play.
Oh, yeah.
He did play.
He did play. And he was Aaron Rodgers.
He was Aaron Rodgers. He had 322 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. It just wasn't enough.
You're not going to stop him.
It wasn't enough. And they don't have the excuse of the option this time.
Yeah.
They just could not stop Colin Kaepernick, and that's just the bottom line.
They beat him pretty much with their own game plan. Mm-hmm. They passed on him. They did all that. That's what I'm never too impressed with Jim Harbaugh. He can look what he did with Alex Smith. Granted, Alex Smith got that experience. He's going to be a better quarterback. Mm-hmm. Now he's grooming Kaepernick from the beginning. Mm-hmm. He can groom him into legendary status. Harbaugh is a genius when it comes to grooming these quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. That's just my opinion.
No, I completely agree. He's done nothing since he's been with the 49ers except elevate their play and elevate, you know, the people on the team. So I can do nothing but agree with
it was just so, I'm so blessed to be watching football.
Me too.
I can't believe I apologize again to my Dodgers. I didn't watch you guys this weekend because it was the first season of football, but I watched it on TiVo.
Okay.
So I caught the game.
Okay.
So I did catch it.
Let's move on to the Bay's other team, Oakland. Oakland played the Colts, Andrew Luck and the Colts, and they didn't win. They lost 21-17, but and it's okay. But Terrell Pryor, yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
But it seemed like the same old Raiders. I was watching it, they were winning, and I was so happy. I was like, yes, we're going to do it. This is our year. We're taking out the Colts. Upset on the first week, and then I remembered, we're the Raiders.
No, you can't be that down on them. I mean, Terrell Pryor, he threw 19 for 29 for 217 yards. He did have that one interception. He ran for 112 yards, which he's the first Raider to do that since Gannon, if I'm not mistaken. So, dude, he's huge.
Yeah.
I got a glimpse of how big he is. I think he's bigger than like McFadden.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
He's huge. So if he continues to develop his throwing game, because he's gotten better, it's no telling where you guys are going to go.
Last year I went to him when he was playing. He played in one game last year, and I was there and I watched him. I seen potential, but he just seemed very, very raw. Mm-hmm. Now he's had that whole year and the whole system, the same coach, and I believe that he's one of those new era of quarterbacks, you know? So, granted the Raiders lost, but I seen some positive things to take from that game. You know, McFadden looked all right. Their defense didn't look too bad. Andrew Luck's no joke. He's one of those quarterbacks that's known right now. I forget the exact stat, but since he's been playing, he's had the most comeback wins out of any quarterback.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like 5 or 6, I believe, from Andrew Luck. Yeah, Google it up.
Give you some accurate.
That is accurate.
Stats.
It's 5.
It's 5?
You want accuracy? It's 5.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 5. He has 5, and that's more than since he's been playing, which is, it's his second year.
Okay, well, you know, the Colts did a whole lot in the offseason to protect Luck. They brought in, you know, some offensive linemen to once again protect Luck and to open up the running game and to help keep the defense off the field, because that was an issue they were having. You know, their offense, they stayed on the field.
Yeah.
So they made some changes to get that in order. So they won, but, you know, Andrew Luck did what Andrew Luck does. But the Raiders looking good. And
Yeah.
I don't give the Raiders props. So
Yeah.
the Raiders are looking good.
Yeah, and
looking good.
the rookie quarterback, he's doing his thing, and it goes to show like there's other rookie quarterbacks out there doing their thing as well, and that brings us to our next game.
Okay, and that
Geno
is
Smith versus the Buccaneers.
Geno.
Yeah.
Okay, by no means am I a Jets fan, but I will say this: every time Geno Smith steps on that field, I hope the Jets win. And every time Mark Sanchez steps on the field, I hope they lose. So our point can be proven over and over and over again. Mark Sanchez, he needs to go hang out with Tim Tebow. Their careers are over.
Come on, what did Sanchez ever do to you for you to tell him he has to hang out with Tim Tebow?
He needs to go hang out with Timmy.
Oh man, that's horrible.
That's not horrible.
Yeah, don't you want him on a straight path? You want Sanchez to do the right thing, not to roll with
Then he
Tebow.
needs to stop. Then he needs to quit. He needs to retire. And he needs to go do the right thing. And him and Timmy Tebow can go do the Lord's work somewhere else because the NFL is just not cut for him.
And maybe they could hang out with Matt Flynn, you know?
Maybe
they could hang out with Matt Flynn because you know Matt Flynn.
Just be the quarterback graveyard.
Oh, man.
Oh, poor thing. Okay, so we have to take a short commercial break. We have to go pay some bills, as all shows do. So give us a moment. The Takeover will be back after this.
Well, I just found out Don Madley benched the Cuban sensation.
Hi, welcome to the Takeover. I'm your host, the King of LA Sports, Richard Lopez, aka the Sports Educator. Cam Newton, thank you for coming to visit the King.
No problem.
I promise to always report truthfully about the Panthers.
Don't forget 60 minutes of play a day, right?
60 minutes of play a day. What am I, a child?
Absolutely.
You know you're talking to royalty?
Yes, sir.
Are you calling out royalty?
Maybe.
You must not know me. You're using a very unsettling tone.
Okay.
That's why Darrelle Revis is going to have 6 interceptions against you this year.
Excuse me?
That's why the Panthers aren't going to win the division. That's why RG3 is better than you.
Whoa.
The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is... Please note, the new number is...
Welcome everyone. Welcome to this week's Royal Rant. And this week, I'm not necessarily going to tell you about things that piss me the hell off. I'm just going to tell you about some things that I need to get off my chest. Football is back, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot be happier. It was like heaven watching all the games on 8 different televisions. Oh, it was a beautiful thing. Okay, but now that I got that out of the way, that brings me to the thing that makes me upset. Fantasy football. I love it. I'm not gonna lie. I play it, so I deserve everything that happens. But I swear some of these people will sell their own children to make a trade. It is ridiculous. A lot of these people, man, they will stab you in the back. They will slice your throat to make a trade in fantasy football to get the upper hand. And it's sad because I've seen friendships end, I've seen friendships created, and I've seen people fight, and it's a beautiful thing. We love fantasy football. It just shows how competitive us people are. And yeah, but it bothers me how personal some people get. Money comes and goes, people. You don't have to end friendships over fantasy football. Cheap shots in the NFL. So the NFL is trying to make the league safer by starting these new programs, teaching children how to hit low and hit the right way. Problem is, in the NFL, the players would rather be hit in the head than having their legs taken out. You take out someone's legs, you're probably gonna end their career. You give them a concussion, they'll probably be out for, 3-4 weeks at the most. You will hurt these players more by making these rules more strict. A lot of these players go out there and they give it their all, and this is how they feed their family. So a lot of them would much rather take that concussion than have their legs broken or ACLs torn, and let them make that decision. They're the ones that are getting paid all this money. Let them make the decisions if it's gonna hurt them or not. Just like people that type for a living. They get arthritis and they hurt their fingers, but they have no one else to blame because they're using their fingers for their whole life. Anyway, now for something a little positive. Chip Kelly's offense. Wow, I'm not an Eagle fan by any means at all, but I can tell you one thing, I appreciate an innovator, a visionary, and people that try to make changes out there, you know, because everyone's afraid of change. Half of these people, half of the critics, half of the announcers, they were all saying how Chip Kelly doesn't know what he's doing and how the college-style offense isn't going to work in the NFL. I mean, I watch Monday Night Football, and I actually seen it work. And the only problem I see is he's got to get his players even in better shape than they already are. They were in better shape than the Redskins yesterday, but they still were tired in their own right from all these fast-paced offenses. 33 plays in the first quarter. Hey, that's crazy cardio if you're going to be on Chip Kelly's team. But it's the new way of the NFL, and if the people don't like it, then they got to start looking in other places to find jobs, because the NFL is going to be a cardio. Well, at least the new era of the NFL is going to be strictly based on your cardio. So if the Eagles can keep that up, look out for them. And that is all I believe I have this week for you. Tune in next week to my next edition of Royal Rant. Until then, I'm the king of LA Sports, Richard Lopez, reminding all of you that when you live life rich, never be poor. Have a blessed day.
And welcome back to the Takeover. We are going to continue our Geno Smith and Jets topic.
Football. Sorry, meathead moment. Okay.
Okay, so Geno Smith, excellent. He started off a little shaky, but as the game progressed, I could see him getting more comfortable in his skin and in the offense. Ultimately, he went for 24-38, 256 yards. He had 47 rushing yards, I believe. I think he did absolutely wonderful. I mean, if Mark Sanchez was playing, there would have been a different outcome of that game. Probably would have been like 12 fumbles, 5 interceptions.
I mean, from the last show, I think Rex Ryan might have watched, or he might have been listening, because I told him that love triangle he had with Mark Sanchez, it has to stop. And what I seen in his eyes in the fourth quarter was him falling in love with Geno Smith.
Geno made him a believer.
He made him a believer, so there might, he might be getting a different tattoo number on that jersey, on his arm.
Oh, or maybe just a dual one.
Or a dual, maybe he has two.
Maybe.
But yeah, I literally, no, really though, real talk. I seen him, literally his facial expression watching Geno Smith take over that game in the fourth quarter was priceless to me. He was looking at Geno like, okay, like Geno earned his respect right there. Because Geno, there was 20 seconds left and everyone was like, some of the guys had their heads down.
He was like, calm down.
Everyone calmed down.
This.
And then sure enough, after that, he got that cheap penalty.
Well, yeah, he ran for 10 yards, and then there was a cheap shot, and they tacked on another 15 yards, so that allowed the Nick Folk, the kicker, to come in and kick a 48-yard field goal.
Game-winning field goal, yeah.
So, hey, a win is a win is a win is a win.
The Geno Smith era in New York has begun, and I don't think they're going to look back. So, Sanchez, if you want your job back, you better take that crappy-looking thing out of your hair that holds your hair back that my daughter wears, and do something else and get to going.
I don't think
get back to that short haircut like you had from SC. Well, he needs to at least try. He might not get the Jets job, but he can at least go somewhere and back up. And
maybe
that hair thing don't help him.
Well, let's move on to another New York rookie quarterback, Bills, E.J. Manuel. Patriots beat him out slightly, but they hung.
Oh, yeah.
Patriots. I mean, Tom Brady's going to be Tom Brady. He's going to do what he's going to do. He's a veteran quarterback who knows how to lead his team, who's down to victory. But I am impressed.
So am I. I mean,
Manuel.
The E.J. Manuel's for real, and the Bills' defense is for real. They're going to have to figure out how exactly they want to do that running scheme, if they're going to let Spiller have all the carries or just a mutual carries between him and Fred Taylor. But, yeah, their defense is the real deal. To hold Tom Brady like that to the very end, they played some good ball.
The only thing negative that I would have to say about the Bills from what I've seen yesterday was they need to clean up their discipline. They had 10 penalties for like 75 yards, and those are errors you cannot afford against a team like the Patriots. So you get that together, you get that in order, they'll be straight.
Yeah, the Patriots, they've in the past few years, they're always competitive, and they got their rings within the past decade. So look out for them. Speaking of other teams that have been competitive, what about the Steelers versus Titans? A lot of people were shocked about that victory for the Titans. I wasn't.
I was. I was, but they gave up their running back. What's his name?
Dwyer?
There you go.
But they just re-signed him today.
Did they?
Yes, this morning.
Well, I wonder why.
Yeah.
I wonder why. It's so much commotion going on in that clubhouse right now between Roethlisberger and the head coach.
There's no respect between those two.
And you have to have it, especially between head coach and quarterback. Nothing's gonna move forward with that team if you don't have that respect. They lost Marcus Pouncey. They lost Larry Foote. Torn bicep out for
Those
the
are
season.
Pro Bowl players.
They're Marcus Pouncey's. They're all pro center. I don't think the Steelers are going to do too. I mean, they might. We'll see what happens. They are the Steelers. You have to give them the props. They have the most Super Bowls and anybody else in the team or in the league.
Yeah.
So you have to always give them that benefit of the doubt. But looking based on yesterday's game,
That running back, Le'Veon Bell, I think could be the difference for them, but he's still hurt. He's trying to come back. And Ben Roethlisberger arguing with Haley, Todd Haley. Like, Tomlin said that this is disappointing to him. It's unacceptable. So the only change that needed to be made was the offensive coordinator, and I think that'll happen. If they don't do nothing by next week, then Haley will be fired. The Steelers don't play that. Because they gave Haley a chance all last year, and he didn't do too much. And him and Ben Roethlisberger were always kind of arguing and going back and forth.
Yeah.
So, let's move on.
okay.
The Cowboys versus the Giants.
Cowboys and the Giants.
Yeah.
Can I just say the Giants played the worst game ever. Worst game ever, and it's the Manning brothers. They were like polar opposites. It's crazy. They actually had identical stats.
Yeah.
Both of them threw 27 for 42. Both of them had over 400 yards. The only difference is Eli threw 3 picks. But couldn't play any worse. And the Cowboys only beat them by 5 points.
Yeah.
They should have handed the Giants that butt, and they didn't do it. So to me, that just shows you Cowboys are just a whole lot of hype. They didn't prove anything to me. You won by 5 points.
I would have given them credit where credit's due if I was impressed by them, but they really didn't do much. I hate to say it. They didn't capitalize on, like, when the Giants turned the ball over and began the game, they didn't score, they got the 3 points. And that happened again. They didn't score, they got the 3 points. And it's just, and the sad part is the Cowboys actually think they did something. When you talk to the interviews after the game, the coaches are happy. They said it was a good game. Like, really?
The Giants almost won that game.
Yeah.
They almost won the game. Eli played his most crappiest game that I've ever seen him play since he's been in the league. And they still almost managed to pull that game out. So
6 or 7 turnovers, maybe more?
Right. So, hell,
That was
Eli
in the
threw
half.
picked the first pass of the game. So,
Jeez.
crappy play by the Giants, and they still managed to come within 5 points of beating Denver. So just imagine if Eli was on point.
Yeah,
just imagine if it was typical Eli Manning play.
The Giants were their receivers were getting open. Hakeem Nicks, Victor Cruz, they were all getting open. So, yeah, okay. Well, the Cowboys. I mean, they got the victory. They're 1-0.
So
and trust me, I know it's all over Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. The Cowboys are 1-0. Yes, everyone, we know, but I'm not impressed, and I'd be the first one to tell you if I was.
Talk to me after November.
Yeah, we'll see how the Cowboys are doing after November.
Right.
All right. Now, sticking with the NFC East.
Okay.
Eagles and Redskins.
Eagles
The first
and
Monday night game last night.
Chip Kelly and his offense.
Chip Kelly. Can I say there's a new era in the NFL? Can I go there yet?
I think you can, as far as quarterbacks go, or
No,
the offense.
Offense and offensive play calling. I've seen some things I haven't seen, and this is exactly as advertised. You know, a lot of times it wasn't necessarily new things they did, but people were running the right plays, running the play routes exactly as they should. And I was extremely impressed. They ran up and down the field on the very first drive, and then they had that one pass, which I didn't think was a backwards pass, but anyway, and then the Redskins scored. But the Eagles' defense looked good. Their offense, to me, they ran 33 plays in the first quarter.
53 in the first half. Yeah.
53 in the first half.
But that up-tempo, hurry-up offense type is it mirrored what he used to do at Oregon. So he came out and he executed what he knows how to do best. And he has the perfect quarterback for it.
Yeah, there's no way no one can explain to me, convince me otherwise. When Chip Kelly made this system that he's doing, when he planned it all out, he had to have pictured someone like Michael Vick at the quarterback position. He was the first one that changed the game with his speed at the quarterback position. And then all of a sudden Chip Kelly has these running backs from Oregon, just Dixon, just to name one, Dennis Dixon, just to name one. And it's just, it's awesome. I love it. I love when guys go for the change, because the Harbaugh brothers showed me that rookie coaches can do numbers in the NFL. And a lot of these guys, owners, were afraid to try because they're afraid of change. But change is what's needed. If we want to advance in the society and sports, there's going to be change. There's going to be new people with new ideas, and sometimes we got to step out of the box and accept it.
Right. I completely agree. I was impressed. I can't say that I wasn't. The only thing that concerns me is the high-paced tempo. His team, they were tired. They need to get a little bit more conditioned.
But see, their team was tired, but the other team was worse.
Yeah.
They were more tired.
Yeah.
So if the players, they had a lot of emotions first game of the season. So if they can continue to develop their cardio, they're going to be able to outwork these other teams. Chip Kelly, man. Oh, man, this guy, I love him. I'm just so impressed by him. I was kind of, he's a chip off the old block. I bet you him showing all these people around here, he's getting a chip off his shoulder. Chocolate Chip, he's so sweet. I got all kinds of Chips jokes.
I see.
Chips, he's enforcing the law like Chips, the TV show.
Okay,
what can I say? All right, I'm sorry.
So,
I told you it's football season, and I'm psyched.
Vic was impressive. He went 15 for 25, 203 yards, 2 TD passes, and then Sean McCoy, he had 184 yards rushing. So
yeah, and
he.
That goes. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No. Please go.
I spoke in my royal rant about players in fantasy football. I had a guy, he will remain nameless out of respect, but he traded me McCoy. He made it official on the boards, everything. And then when draft time comes, he backed out of the trade.
Oh.
So that's what I'm telling you. People, we lose friendships, we lose family members. People will sell their own kids and mothers for trades in fantasy football.
Well, I haven't got on the fantasy football band just yet, and from what you're telling me, or the stories that I've heard this morning, I'm kind of glad that I haven't.
Oh yeah, Oh man, but yeah, Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly,
I love it.
Awesome. It was awesome. It was very exciting, very exciting up-tempo game, and it kept it interesting. RG3, rusty.
Very.
And I blame that on Shanahan, because he did not let that boy take one rep in preseason. And I understand, you're trying to protect your quarterback with the whole knee thing, but it didn't benefit you. He had 329 yards, but still he looked rusty. He needs to learn how to move with that brace. He needs to learn how to cut with that brace. So he just needs, I don't know.
He does not look healthy to me whatsoever. I think the way he was running, the way he planted his feet when he throws, his cuts, he just doesn't look healthy at all.
Was it not healthy, or is it just lack of not playing?
No, I'm talking healthy, because that knee, he's not planting. Like, yeah, he's rusty because of his throwing, but I'm talking his leg plants and all that stuff, because, I wasn't impressed, because he just seemed to me that he's still hurt. It's only six. What's the timetable is over a year for an ACL tear. He's back, started working out within 7 months.
Yeah, it's 8 months to the date. It was 8 months to the date that he went out.
Yeah.
That he came back and played.
And so, it's just, I hate to say it, but my opinion is RG3 is going to get hurt this year. You heard it here first. I don't like to be the one to say it, and we also were going to talk about the Chargers, but I could care less about the Chargers.
Me neither. I'm an Irish fan. You're an Oakland fan. All you need to know is they blew a 21-point lead in the fourth quarter.
Yes, they did.
Titans win. Boom. That's it. Okay, that is all that we have for you today on the Takeover. Tell the people where they can reach you at.
In my camera. Camera 2. Where you at, camera 2? Thank you very much. All right, King of LA Sports. You can reach me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. It's free. Give out those Dodger tickets. Twitter, you can reach me, Rich Lopez, K.O.L.A.S. Miss Bree.
You can catch me on YouTube at Khisha Brijon. Until next time, may the sports be with you.
And remember, when you live life rich, you will never be poor. Have a blessed day.